Hello everyone, we are looking into seismic methods of operation on land. We had seen in the previous lecture seismic survey on land consists of 4 stages. First is surveying, energizing the ground and picking up of signals, and lastly recording of signals. After this, the signals recorded will be interpreted. In the previous lecture, we had seen what is the purpose of surveying, how we are going to energize the ground. These are the 3 different types of energizing the ground. Other way also we can classify as explosive and non-explosive. We had seen how we can energize the ground by hammer and weight drops, and we have started looking into explosive sources in the last class. Toward the end, we had seen what are all the disadvantages. The major disadvantage is getting permission to carry out explosive. We have said explosives are not merely exploded at the surface, right? Explosives are kept in a small short hole. What is the advantage? We have seen in the last class, the major advantage is the explosives are detonated in a shallow holes or shallow short holes. Why? In order to improve the coupling of the energy source with the ground. What is the advantage? So that entire energy is focused into the earth and wastage to the surface is very much minimized. That is why we need a short hole. So how can we prepare this short hole? Short hole can be drilled using a driller's rig. A rig may be mounted on a truck like this. This arm can be tilted, and there will be a drill bit which will operate and drill through the surface. Right? We need a drilling rig if we want to have a deeper short hole. Right? Sometimes we drill short holes to 10 or 20 meters too, and many times 1 or 2 meters. It also depend on what is the type of material we have at the surface of the earth. Right? The other way to drill the short holes is as shown in this diagram. A bobcat mounted jackhammer can very easily drill up to maybe up to 1.5-2 feet below the surface. Right? Then we can also use such a tool, right? A big jackhammer. This is what we have used very recently to investigate the subsurface in Chennai, right? So such a tool can also be used to drill short holes. Why we are preparing a short hole? This short hole is going to be loaded with explosives, right? So what are all the, here you can see this is how we are creating a hole, right? Using a jackhammer mounted on a big earth mover, several times bigger than this, right? There are also other tools. We can also use a simple hand operated augers. Yeah, this is a hand operator. A person can hold this, as you can see in this diagram. So this will be power operated. There will be a hammer at the bottom that will make a hole on the surface of the earth. So these tools are usually deployed to make shallow holes. These holes are going to be loaded with the explosives, right? That is why they are called as short holes, right? These short holes have to be packed with the explosives, right? As you see in this diagram, right? So these explosives are like cartridges. One after another, the explosives can be loaded, right? Depending upon the power that is required, depending upon the energy that is required for us to carry out the investigation, right? These explosives can be connected one after another in series, and we can have a cap on the top, right? This cap is connected to several detonating cords, right, which are nothing but wires, and you have what is known as a blasting cap. So this is the beginning. So this is going to actually trigger the explosives, right? The other end of this cord will be connected to a blasting box, which we have said here, right? We have seen the one end of this will be connected to blasting box. So blasting box has got a switch. The cable which is running to the explosives can be activated by the press of the button in the blasting box. The moment he presses, a signal will fire the explosives here. At the same time, another signal is also sent to a recorder, right? Seismic recording unit. So the seismic recording unit will know precisely at what time shot was fired, right? So these are all the different things which we use, and we also use something like seismic gel. So depending upon the location, in very cold climate, also we can achieve this fire by having some special explosives. So these are all some of the essential things, and sometimes we also need what is known as a seismic gel. That gel will provide the connectivity, because this is the short point and the explosives are loaded, and the annular space between the explosives and the borehole, this is the earth, is also packed with some special gels, so that the energy is not lost. The top is also covered, sealed, so that the energy is focused into the land. So these are all the explosives, as you can see in the diagram. Then the next source. Suppose if you don't want to use explosives, the energy requirement is not that much, then we can go in for these sources. They are nothing but rifles and guns. They can also be used as seismic source. How? Just by firing a bullet into the earth. That means this is the surface of the earth, right? This is the gun, right? So using this gun, bullet is fired onto the earth. So this is one of the simplest way, because it is an alternate to use of explosives, right? And explosives are very difficult to deploy because of stringent regulations, right? So we can use some shotguns or buffalo guns, right, to explode the subsurface. Not explode, we are firing a bullet toward the earth surface by pointing the gun toward the earth, right? So this energy is much more than the weight dropping or sledgehammer, right? However, the energy created by this is little lesser than the explosives. However, the advantage is fewer safety problems than that of explosives. For using explosives, a lot of regulations are there, laws are there. Whereas use of guns, so much of hurdle we need not go through, right? So that is the advantage of use of guns as a seismic source.